Let's start podcasting. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are live. We are back. We are recording onto the, over here on my right, I have the Rodecaster Pro II plugged into the Rodecaster video, routed in with my computer and an iPad for a second screen. So, fun setup we're going with. Perfect setup for vlogging and podcasting and going live or just recording something that you want to release later. So having a lot of fun with this setup. We are have Podcasting Club here. I am just also, side note, I am recording from inside a Boys and Girls Club Tech Lab connected to a Boys and Girls Club Teen Center. So it can get pretty noisy in here if you hear kids coming in, having fun, doing stuff. In the back here, there's Tech Lab workshops. I think today is Podcasting Club Day. So we'll get kids in here a little bit to play around with this setup, which I am going to show you and go over with you today. We have different camera setups here. I wanted to go over kind of how I've configured the Rodecaster Pro II because we've shipped out a lot of orders to people, and this is a very easy setup process. Everybody seems to get it right away, kind of plug and play system. But I figured it would be good to go over this setup here with everyone as well, setting up a new show, toggling different shows. So if you wanted to run multiple shows at your club, it would be easy to do that. So you can keep, a show for healthy habits. You could keep a show for youth of the year. You could keep a show for really any kind of show you wanted to run, Keystone, and keep them all separate. So as you're recording your different shows, they go into different files and folders. So I just wanted to go over again this Rodecaster Pro II, send it out to anyone who is still getting it set up, or as new clubs are coming on board, helping you guys get this going even faster. And then if we have time, I'm going to try and record another Audacity. So after you finish recording on the Rodecaster Pro II, how do you get it over onto your computer and then use Audacity? So we'll go over that as well. But let's get going with just the setup of the Rodecaster Pro II really quick. So in the back here, you will see that we have moving from, I guess this would be if you're facing it from the back, left to right. This one is the power cord right here. And then next to that is the power on off button, the red button. And you just need to single tap that power off button to get it going. And then we have a place for our little micro SD card chip right here. And then we have port 1 and port 2 for USB-C. Now, if you are going to connect to your computer, you would use port 1. I am connecting right now to the Rodecaster video. So I'm taking the audio through the Rodecaster Pro II and I'm running it through the Rodecaster video, which you don't see. It's off screen a little bit, but I'll show you that in a minute. So it's connecting to the Rodecaster video switcher, and the Rodecaster video switcher is then connected to my computer. I'm also just using one microphone here. Let's see here, right here. And so this is my earphone jack. And then farther down here is in mic 1, my microphone plugged in. So it's important to note, just make sure you are using the number 1 port for the earphones with the number 1 port with the microphone. And as you will see here, I tape a little red tape onto one on the earphone, and then somewhere you would see, let's see if I can push this into, nope, would have to go the other way. You'll see a little red sticker on the microphone jack as well. So that way, when these wires start to get crossed, it's easy to pair up. Okay, here's the right red earphones with the right red microphone. Now, they also sell on Amazon and whatnot little clips that are color coordinated as well. So you don't have to use electrical tape like I did here. But whatever you have at your convenience, whatever's easier. It's just good to indicate, as you get, this system, this Rodecaster Pro II, does 4 kids at once. They can all record 4 people, which is a lot of fun, getting 4 people to sit down and have a conversation. So this is a great setup for that. So over here on the Rodecaster, you'll notice this record button is green right now. Now, if it were purple, that would mean either it's not able to record. So maybe it's missing the chip, the SD card chip, or the SD card chip is full, or it's not already inserted all the way, or you're missing the SD card chip altogether. So when this green button is illuminated, this record in the top left corner of your Rodecaster, that means you have the ability to start recording. So it's all systems go, but you're not recording yet until you push this green button. So once you push that green button and it goes red, that means you are now able to start recording, and you will see the numbers starting to count in that top left corner. If you single push it again, it will go yellow, and that yellow indicates that you're just paused. So it's pausing at that 14 seconds. So if somebody comes in the room and you need to just pause it, you have the ability to pause and then continue with the same track recording that you were doing. So I'm going to push it again, and it'll go red to let me know that it's continued with that recording up there. I'm going to hold it down, and now it's green. Okay. In the top right corner with the icon, which is a puppy dog, that's the one I selected. When you tap that, you will see all these choices: the import, export, new show, and then the blue has how many recordings are already saved into Adam's Club. Now, if I want to set up a brand new show, I can simply do that by tapping this this button to say set up a new show. And so it's first going to ask me, do I want to export all the audio files? So save all of those before I proceed, so nothing gets lost when I'm toggling or setting up a new show. If I just want to load a new show, let's say I've set up a couple different shows or 2 shows. Let's say I have set up 2 shows and I want to switch between them. So let's say one show is Adam's Club and the next show is Healthy Habits. That I set up a brand new show of Healthy Habits, I would import the new show. So you'll see a bunch of the kids here at the Teen Center have set up different shows, and you can find their different shows by just kind of toggling through. So there's Steven's World Show, and if I wanted to load Steven's World Show, I would just tap that chip icon, and here where it says Adam's Club, it would then replace that with Steven's Show, and then anytime he's saving now, his recordings are going into the Steven Show recordings. Okay, so it's that easy to toggle, set up new shows, toggle between shows, and also make sure that you're saving audio into the correct folders for each show. Now, in the top corner, you'll see a gear icon. When you select that gear icon, go to Systems, and then from here, you can set up your date and time, and just make sure you have the correct date and time, which it does not look like this machine right now has the correct date and time. It's probably been unplugged and plugged back in too many times. So it would be important to get the correct date and time set up here. That way, when you're saving audio, they're saved with the date and time. It's easy to find, oh, on such and such a day, I recorded this piece of audio. So if you wanted to do that, you could select, the correct month, and then you use this spinning dial here to spin through, so to change, I'm setting up the right month. You can get the correct date and time set up and then hit the green check mark, and boom. That's how you get your date and time configured. Now, you can add smart pads from here. You can check your outputs, the faders. In that gear is where you can get a lot of things kind of dialed in later. Up here in the right-hand knobs, you will see these audio knobs. So this is where, this controls the volume when you put on your earphones. how loud you hear in your own headset. And this over here, these channels are you setting up your audio, and you want to be close enough to the microphone when you're speaking that you're just kind of going right into that yellow section is perfect. So that's the correct decibels that you want to be hitting right up in there. That's perfect. So you don't really need to use these faders. Get that set in the middle, and then you can come in later. If you want to adjust this microphone, you can come in here and then play with things like over here. You'll see the depth and the sparkle and the pitch. So you'll be able to do some of the processing there if you want to really kind of dial in your microphone. And so that's looking good. And you can get into advanced settings here if you want to play with some of the processing features and the effects. So you can get it dialed in. And the other cool thing, we talked about setting up different shows in here. As you set up different shows, so if you have Adam's show and I go and get my microphone set exactly how I like it, and then you do another show, let's say for Keystone, you will set up the microphones for those maybe at different processing, different levels. So as you toggle between shows, it will save your presets that you do in here with your microphones. So you can really just put your mics on, make sure that you're close enough to the mic where you're seeing it hit right in this yellow section. And that's the good section to aim for. So again, we're green, so we're not recording a podcast on the Rodecaster Pro. So that is a quick little demo right there of the Rodecaster Pro once it's been set up. However, if you have yet to set up the Rodecaster Pro, I recognize that, from the beginning, if you just got your Rodecaster device, you're going to want to get it set up. Well, we can take a look now at what it would be like setting up that Rodecaster Pro from the very beginning. And we'll do the quick setup wizard. What we're going to do now is set up a show as though this were the first show you would be setting up. So if I'm going to tap on the icon and go to New Show, let's take a look at that. We're going to export everything on there. So it'll save everything on the chip. Done. Now, if you first get your Rodecaster Pro sent to you and you're ready to get it set up, you get it plugged in with the chip in and put all the microphones in and the headsets in, and then you'll toggle through the screens until you get to this setup wizard. So tap setup wizard. Now what we have here is across the top we have all the different microphones options. And so because we're going to do a podcast and we're not going to really be playing music and musical instruments in, but if you did have like a piano you wanted to connect to the back of the Rodecaster Pro II, you could do that right there by setting up, in channel 2, you could have an input there. But we're going to keep it all microphones. And the microphones that we have here are dynamic, but depending on what kind of microphone you get, you will want to set up your microphone. And then you're going to test the microphone and make sure you're getting into that yellow 45 decibel section is perfect. I'm going to hit yes, we like that, and we are using a podcast studio, and we're going to do that 4 times. So if you have 4 microphones all plugged in, you will want to test all 4 and make sure they sound good and plug in the headphones. So there we go. We're doing podcast studio. Again, we have a dynamic microphone that we're using and podcast studio. Now, the Bluetooth stuff, you can connect your phone, your cell phones. I've seen kids connect their cell phones to the Rodecaster Pro II and played music that they have been, creating themselves and talk about that. And so it's a really neat way to to kind of be able to connect your devices. Now, I'm just going to keep moving through the screens because you can set these things up later as well and fine tune them. But this is just showing you our channel assignments. So as I kind of pull this back a little, these are our channels right along here. And all these should be set to the middle, right in the middle, these faders. And here are the different channels that are getting set up. And so this screen is just saying, okay, here's how the channels are configured. And I'm going to say, okay, we'll do our smart pads later. And we will just call this a test. And then we'll pick our icon. I will pick the birdie, hit that check mark in the top, and we're ready to go. And just like that, we are back to the screen we started on. And we have set up the podcast show. Now, let's say I want to switch back to our other show. I am going to import it. And the one that we wanted to do is Adam's Club. I'm going to select the most recent version of the save chip so we don't overwrite, from an older save. And I'm going to import Adam's Club. Would you like to export it? We're going to skip the export because we didn't record anything new since then. And now you'll notice the puppy dog is selected and I'm back into Adam's show, Adam's Club. So it will have then the saved presets that I might have done to my microphone and anything we record now. So when I hit this green button, I'm recording back into Adam's show. That easy to set up a show, multiple shows. So again, Healthy Habits, Keystone, Youth of the Year, any of the different shows that you might want to set up, you can just get them set up and dialed in, and then they save to the correct folder, and you have all your shows neatly organized where you want them. And then being able to connect it in with this Rodecaster video that we're recording on as well. Fun way to get different angles, whether you want. So these are 3 different cameras that we're toggling between, and then also the screen here. So let's say we just finished recording that podcast and you wanted to move it over onto your computer and get it into Audacity to edit. So let's go back and take a look at this. So you'll notice that right here in the middle, where my finger is hovering, right here is a little chip icon. And if you hit that chip icon and your cable is plugged into port, so right now I'm in port 2, but let's say you have it in port 1 and then directly connected to your computer. Okay, so you're going to want this USB-C in port 1 and connected to your computer. And when you do that, you will see a lit up button right here, right next to the erase button. You'll see an illuminated button that says transfer mode. And when you click transfer mode and then go to your computer, okay, so if you click transfer mode and then go to your computer, you will see the Rodecaster show up as a drive in your folders with all your recorded files located in your, so you would see it as a drive here, and then it would say Rodecaster, and then you'd be able to find all your audio that you recorded. So it's that easy to transfer the audio from the Rodecaster over onto your computer and then added. So what we would do then is drop it right into Audacity. So I've loaded Audacity, I've downloaded Audacity onto my computer, and then we would load that audio file right into Audacity. And so here is one of Sarah's podcasts. Once we load the audio here, you're going to want to go over to Audio Setup, and you can scan or rescan the audio devices, meaning if you're going to want to be able to listen to it, it's just checking and saying, okay, where are the different places we can play the audio out? Do you have speakers? Do you want to listen to it through your Rodecaster Pro and listen to it that way. And once you scan it, you'll see all the different playback devices. So right now I'm going to play it through the Rodecaster video, but you'd probably want to play yours through the Rodecaster audio if you have that connected, or through the computer. So from here, you'd be able to click.
Business accounting firm. Oh, great.
So this one's already.
Businesses and/or with businesses that they're looking to start.
This audio that we're listening to was recorded at a live event. And so there were lots and lots of people there. We just had a table out. Sarah from the Boys and Girls Club was connecting with different business leaders. It was Women in Business Summit. And so she was talking and telling and, connecting with people who would be interested in the Boys and Girls Club Teen Center.
Absolutely.
So let's just take a look at some of the different controls that we have here. We have a play, a pause, a reset back to the beginning. So if you use this arrow cursor here, you can reset it back to the beginning. We have this little eye tool, which is the selection tool. So you'll notice when I come down into this area where the audio wave files are, I can click and it makes this line. So I'm going to click over here around the 5-minute mark and it draws a line. I can click on the 3-minute mark and it'll make a line. So wherever I click with this line and then I hover over this zoom button, I can zoom in on that 3-minute mark. Now I'll click and it'll zoom more in on that 3-minute mark. And you can get all the way in so granular with these audio with these audio waves that you can basically select the littlest bleep of a sound, which is absolutely incredible. So if I highlight it and push the space bar, I'm just listening to that play, that section play that I highlighted. And then I'm going to click and we will be able to maneuver around. And now I'm going to use the magnify out and zoom back out so we can see the whole audio file. So this audio file is about 9 minutes. So if I wanted to jump to the end, I'd zoom out, click over on the 9 minutes, and now I can zoom back in, right? And get super granular. So there's a handful of tools, very basic, that I use. So let's say I wanted to delete a section. I can click and highlight. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to hit the space bar. So that's basically Sarah's music playing out. And then right there, it's nothing. So let's say I just wanted to get rid of this end section. I can highlight it, and then on your keyboard, just use the delete button, and now it's removed. And just like that, that section is gone. But let's say I actually wanted to bring it back. On your keyboard, you can do a Command Z on a Mac or an undo, file, edit, redo, undo as well. So that's how you can remove and add audio. Here you'll see a little spike going on. So I highlighted that, and let's zoom in on that spike. It's spiking off. It's kind of going over, and let's say we wanted to bring that spike down, right? I can really zoom in on that. And then use this pencil. I'm going to just, let's go even closer. So it wants us to use that this pencil tool to kind of smooth out this audio clip. You got to get it in so close that you see these little dots. But now we just brought that audio down from spiking. Maybe bring it down even more. Boom. Pretty cool. I'm going to go back to the eye tool now and zoom back out, and you'll see that it's no longer spiking off the page. So what we have now is the eye tool to kind of select different areas, drag and highlight areas. From there, you can delete if you wish to delete and remove or undo. If I click and draw a line somewhere, I can right click and split clip, and now we have two sections. Now, when I hover up here, you'll notice it turns it to a hand. And with that hand, you can drag and open, if you wanted to drop a new piece of audio or some music or something, you can split it and reopen it and then add in, whatever section you wanted there. If I select them both by clicking over here, I can click and I can join these clips back together. So now they're one clip again, which means if you zoom, let's see here. I'm going to zoom out. So you can imagine if I'm moving this clip, you see, if it were split and then I went to move it, only one of them is moving. But let's say I wanted to get this back to 0 and they were split. All of a sudden, you got to move them both. So sometimes when you split and you make your edits, I'm going to click over here to make sure everything's selected. It's a good idea to rejoin them. So then as you're moving things on the timeline, things aren't getting, some things are getting shuffled and moved and other things aren't. But let's say I also wanted to add some audio. I'm going to just move these down a little bit like that. And now we'll add another track of audio. So you can imagine if you had your podcast, I'd actually probably, click in the beginning here. I'm going to zoom in and there's probably a little bit of a section here. Typically when you're recording a podcast of some things that you don't want, you're just getting started, you hit record and you say, okay, maybe you cough, you get ready. And then you're like, all right, let's record. So I would typically come in and clean up the beginning. So we would pretend, that beginning is a cough or something that we don't want. So I'd delete that out. And then now we want to start with some music. So let's go back into ClubCast. Now, there's different places you can get music. We're trying to promote this teen or kid-led music. So here's Jonathan. I know Jonathan. He's one of the kids that comes in and does podcasting with us at the Teen Center. He's also a musician, and so he made his own. Let me bring that down just a little. So here's this music Jonathan made. So I can download Jonathan's track, and here's how you can give him props for downloading it and using it. You can let him know and let the audience know, okay, we use Jonathan's track. I'm going to go back over to here, downloads. Here's Jonathan's track that we just downloaded. I'm going to go up. I'm going to go over to here, and here it is. So let's click on this. Let's actually zoom in on Jonathan's track. Now, maybe also Jonathan's track is too loud. So it's too loud, so I want to bring it down. I'm going to go up to Effect, Volume Compression, Amplify, and I'm going to bring this down into the negative. And this is something you'll just play with as you do it. So I'm going to apply, boom. Now, it might even still be too loud. It is still pretty loud. So I'm going to Effect, Volume Compression, Amplify. I'm going to, again, bring this into the negatives. Really want this a little quieter to start off. Nice. All right, that sounds good for a podcast. But I also, let's say I want it to fade under the talking comes in, and I want this to fade down a little. So let's select it, and let's go Effect. Let's go to, let's see, there's different ways we can do this, but I think I want to use this envelop tool, which has the dots. So I'm going to click that, And let's say you can now see how it's turned to 2 arrows when I hover the cursor over here. I'm going to say like 6 seconds in, I'm going to click. And what we're going to do is just bring that way down like that. Okay, so let's listen to that. So what I think we've just done here is we have the audio come in. And right when it hits about this 6-second mark, it's going to start fading. The voices can get a little louder. Nice. And then maybe at this 14-second, I'm going to click here, and we're going to split the clip, and I would delete this part. Now what I would want to do is bring in the audio from the podcast. So we have to, pretend. I know Sarah's kind of got her stuff right here. Let's pretend the podcast starts right here with voices coming in.
Club or podcast.
Oh, we still have Sarah's intro.
Business.
I'm going to start it here.
Takesha Nade, what do you do? I run a small business.
Okay. Let's start it right. Okay, we removed all that, and let's go here.
What brought you here today? Robin, of course. We were just speaking with.
So you can figure out where you want this audio, the voices from the podcast to start. Sometimes I really like having the music, and then as the music's fading, you have the voices behind it. So there's the...
What brought you here today? Robin, of course. We were just speaking with Robin. How did she sucker you into this? Just kidding.
And maybe we want this to fade completely out. Let me go to effects, fading, fade out, and we'll really fade that out. So,
what brought you here today? Robin, of course. We were just speaking with Robin. How did she sucker you into this? Just kidding. Well, actually, for me, a couple.
So just like that, you can add in some music at the beginning, play your audio there. Other things you can do is with this audio back, so I'm taking the hand here. You can either click over here in this section to select and highlight the whole thing, or click right up here when it turns to a hand, and that will highlight the whole track that you just selected, or at least the section that you had there. Because if this were split into 2, the hand is only going to select this first bit and not both. Whereas if you click over here, it'll select both. So if you applied an effect, it would apply that effect to everything selected. So let's go back. Let's select everything there. Effect, volume compression. So some of the things you can do is come in here and normalize the audio, and it'll find the right normalization range for you to really make sure that you're going to get the best audio quality consistent through it. And so you can kind of play with some of these volume and compression settings and listen to it. And so this is another section. As you get more and more comfortable coming in here to Audacity, you can play with these things. But then when you're ready, you can go back up to Audacity, File. So now you can export the audio. You can also save the project. So if you wanted to come back in here and work on it and continue to work on it, you could save the project, and that will save all these different layers of audio. But if you just want to get that audio file and get it up as a podcast, you'll export the audio. And so let's call this Demo Test Pod 3, and you're going to want to make sure that you select the format as an MP3 file. So Apple, Spotify, all of them use MP3 files. Okay? So select this as an MP3 file, and this is a good 48,000 hertz is is good, stereo, and we will export this. So it's good to set up a file structure on your computer as well, where you're going to start saving all of your podcasts to. So maybe if you have let's see, I don't know if I have a good example right now of a file structure on your computer, but you're going to want to set up a good structure where it has different folders for different things, like your artwork, your music, your episodes, season 1, episode 2, episode 3, and really keep it nice and organized so it doesn't get out of control, kind of like my computer at the moment is out of control. So highly recommend, just from experience, get the folder and start saving the audios as you move the audio files over from your Rodecaster and put it into your put it onto your computer, that you have the right folder structure to save it to. Then once you log into ClubCast, you can come right in here to the podcasting tab. You can, if you already have a show set up, you just add that podcast right into the show, or you can create a brand new show. So if you have a show, here we have Healthy Habits Going at the Club. We have Keystone. But if you wanted to start a Youth of the Year podcast, you'd start a brand new podcast show. So I'm just going to add that one to Sarah's club. So I'd click on hers because it was her episode, and we'll go right into the library here and upload. And this is just a test show. We don't really want to save this, but it was Sarah. And then here, so you can add your artwork, or if the artwork is already done and saved, you just use that artwork. And here is let's see, we saved that as, I actually don't remember where. Did I save that to the let's see here. File. Export audio. Oh, I see where it went. So here's the path of where you saved your audio. So make sure you save it where you want it to go. So MP3, export it. I'll go delete it later. Perfect. And there it is. So we will upload that. Okay. Okay. So once you get it uploaded, you'll see the difference between this that's waiting to be published and this that's already published. Okay, these ones are already published. This one hasn't yet been published. So if you wanted to publish this, you would click publish. I'm going to turn on the AI feature. Go back. So I just wanted to activate the AI. Go back into the library. If you wanted to publish this, you can set it up. And if you've activated and you have credits for the AI, you can essentially use the AI button, and it will fill out, it'll scan the audio, it will listen to what's being talked about, and then come up with, a show name. It'll come up with subtitles. It'll fill in all that information. Now, you can have it scan the AI for you when you're uploading it, and it'll make this process a lot faster. But if you haven't taken show notes and you haven't written about your show, then sometimes it's easier to use the AI. It's just if you have yet to scan it. So again, if you scan it when you first upload it, it'll be pretty much instantaneous. If you wait and you use the AI now, it takes a couple minutes, but it's really cool how it can, write your whole description for you, come up with subtitles. Then you come in here. Was there a co-host? What episode is it? Is it full? Boom, boom, boom. Just like that, you have done your show. Super simple. Great. So when I'm done with that, I would come down and hit publish episode. And once it's published, I'm not going to do that because this was just a sample test. But once it's published, it will show up on the website. So your page URL, you click on that, it'll open up a page for you. And this is where all your published shows will go. Also, they will go to Spotify and Apple if you've activated and connected those. So if you need at least 1 or 2 episodes published to be connected to Apple and Spotify, but once you publish 1 or 2 in your account, then you can click on submit your show and you can come down here and you can click, this button would say connect Apple. You can connect all these different places. You can link YouTube, all these different places. Super simple, really fast to link. So, and then, once your shows are linked, then your audience will be able to click here or here and listen to it. Or you can also share your Spotify and Apple accounts. The other cool thing you can do is embed your show as well. So if you wanted to put this on your website, you'd be able to have your show connected to Apple. Rather, you'd be able to come here, copy your code, send this to your web person who does your website, and they would be able to add your podcast just like that right up on the site. Now, this is for an individual episode, but you can also have all your entire show as well. So if you wanted to have all your episodes shared, so you can see right here, look how cool that is, and be able to share all your episodes, you'd be able to grab the code, copy, and embed that over. So super easy to get your podcast out there in lots of different ways. Put that on Apple. Once it's on Apple and Spotify, you can share those links out. Share it on social media and your Facebook and whatnot. So pretty cool, pretty easy. In this demo, we essentially went and recorded something, right here, transferred over onto your computer using this what do you call that again? Using, clicking on this little chip icon at the top and then go into transfer mode, which would be illuminated. And then again, the key is on the back is that this cord, this cord right here, which is plugged into my port 2 for you, will be plugged into your port 1. And once it's plugged into port 1 and then connected to your computer, this transfer mode icon will light up right here, and you'll be able to click it and see then everything on your Rodecaster Pro will show up on your computer as a drive, and you'll be able to find all your files. So we also went over, clicking on this icon up here in the top left and setting up new shows, importing if you want to toggle between different shows because you have different shows from different people are recording, different shows for one for the club, one, the kids want to talk about their hobbies or different things like that. You'd be able to do that and toggle and keep everything sorted in the right spaces, just like that. So, a lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff going on. This was the setup for today. We will be doing a lot more setups, bringing you a lot more kind of features and things you can do, but that was a kind of a really quick run through of the Rodecaster Pro, some Audacity, saving it in Audacity, moving it over to your computer, getting it uploaded into ClubCast. Super easy stuff. A lot of fun stuff. And I can't wait to go over some other things with you guys as well. We are launching this video podcasting package as well, which is super, super cool. So more on that, but I'm going to hit stop on this recording for now, and we will be doing another episode later, but we got to get ready here for the club. The kids are coming in to do podcasting club soon. And so we need to get these cameras charged back up, and look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.